So the first one that we often teach students is the difference between stalling and reduced G. So the aim of this exercise is to demonstrate the difference between reduced G and a stall. So what situations that we might get reduced G? Well, this could include launch failures, this could include flying in turbulence and flying a Ventus with trailing edge brakes. Simply opening the air brakes can actually produce a significant nose down pitch and reduced G feeling. So there are many situations where we can get reduced G. Pre-flight briefing. Well, we want to talk to the student about reduced G, what it is, what causes it, and also the symptoms of a stall. And just because we have a falling sensation or a reduced G sensation in the stall doesn't necessarily mean to say that it's the same as reduced G. The stall and reduced G are two different things. Reduced G, we're probably flying, not necessarily stall. In flight. This is a flight where we definitely have the student's hands and feet off the controls. One of the purposes of this flight is to see whether pilots are reduced G sensitive, which I'll talk about in a minute. So it's a demonstration only exercise. The first part of the exercise, we will demonstrate a nose drop stall and point out to the student we have a falling sensation and the elevator is ineffective at raising the nose. We need to move the stick forward to regain flying speed and then return to the normal attitude. After we've flown that demonstration, then we demonstrate reduced G. In this demonstration, we will probably start the exercise at about 70 knots, gently raise the nose and then push over the top. As we're pushing, try and get about half a G, or the same sort of reduced G you probably experienced in the stall. But this time we want to demonstrate that if we move the stick back, not only can we raise the nose, but the reduced G sensation stops immediately. That is reduced G, not a stall. Post-flight debrief is if your student is flying along and they feel reduced G, they mustn't immediately assume they've stalled. They need to work it out with the elevator. So if they move the stick back gently and they've still got reduced G, the likelihood is they've stalled it and they need to move the stick forward to recover. As some background reading, it is probably worthwhile reading an article published by Derek Puckett called Subgravity Sensations and Gliding Accidents, where he describes a number of accidents because of reduced G. Interesting enough, on the reduced G, when we're teaching stalling, we never talk about the feeling of falling or a reduced G when we teach stalling initially. The students will work that out for themselves. And again, we do not want them to have this link between a reduced G and a stall. The two are separate. If you're flying and you come across an oversensitive student, and oversensitivity is the students will often pull their head back and to one side, and in extreme cases put their arms forward and sometimes scream. The definition of a very oversensitive student is they become incapable of rational thought. So if you do find somebody who is a reactor, stop the exercise immediately, come down and land and report to your CFI. Okay, so what I'm going to have a look at now is reduced G. What I'm going to do first is I'm going to stall the glider, and as I stall the glider and the nose drops, you'll get a falling or reduced G sensation. So I'm just going to do that now for you. So I'm just raising the nose so we've got a nice nose height attitude, bringing the stick back. The glider stalls and we got this falling sensation. I need to move the stick forward, regain flying speed, and then return to the normal attitude. So that was a stall. What I'm going to do now is demonstrate reduced G. So I'm just going to put a little bit of speed on, just bringing the nose up. Now I'm pushing the stick forward, same falling sensation, but if I move the stick back now, not only does the sensation stop immediately, but I can also raise the nose. So stalling and reduced G are different. So if you're ever flying around and you get this reduced G sensation, don't assume you've stalled, work it out with the elevator. If you move the stick back and the falling sensation continues, you've probably stalled it. Otherwise, it's reduced G.